the Corsair Virtuosos.
Oh, really? What's up, guys? It is Soleb back again for another episode of the Second Opinion Podcast, episode number 362. I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Toaster McGee. What's up, Toaster?
Hey, what's going on?
You know how it is, man. Glad to be podcasting again with you, my friend. We've had a heck of a week this past week, and we got another one coming up on us right now, but it's going to be a good one. There's a lot of different stuff coming out soon. A lot of things that we're excited about. And we're going to go ahead and jump into it. And of course, first off, we're going to jump into what have you been gaming? So, Toaster, what video games have you been playing in the Citadel?
I am playing back through Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I'm like really actually kind of gaming bored right now. I've taken a few month hiatus from World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
But I'll probably be jumping back in on that on Tuesday when the pre-patch drops for the expansion that's coming out in August. But yeah, it's been pretty much just Mass Effect. I popped into Cyberpunk for a little bit. And I started dabbling back in The Witcher 3.
The Witcher 3. Speaking of that, the game director for Cyberpunk 2 actually had stated that a lot of people have not found all the hidden stuff that's in not only The Witcher 3, but in Cyberpunk 2077. So
that doesn't surprise me in the least.
Right?
Both of those worlds are enormous. You know, it's funny because Matt the Ninja, bringing a name up from the past, he just started playing Witcher 3, and we were talking about it because this is the first time he's played it. And I was like, dude, you're going to love that game. And I was like, it's like Skyrim if it had an overarching story and not just like one main mission. And I was like, because like even the stuff you pick up from the towns, like the CD Projekt Red did such a great job of making that all organically feel like it was part of the main story.
Yeah.
Like you never really felt you were just wandering around and encountering random shit, even though that's pretty much what you were doing.
Yeah.
But in the way that they, you know, with the signposts in the towns, as you travel to the towns, as you progress the story, it seamlessly kind of melded that entire just questing experience into like this one just overarching massive story.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that's missing from games like Skyrim. I love Skyrim, but Skyrim is very much a just go wander over there and find out what that little crevice in the rock is, and you maybe might run into somebody that tells you about something. But yeah, that's been pretty much it. I'm kind of in like, it's like the summer lull for me because, like, you know, we've got the Diablo expansion coming, but that's not until October. And then, you know, the big one for me is obviously going to be The War Within when that drops in August.
Yeah. I got you. Big shout out to Fusion for always supporting and showing up. Thanks for tuning in. Gaming wise, of course, I've been playing everything. I've been playing, just got done with my review for Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess, which you can find that on Cinelinks.com. Or the Second Opinion YouTube page or the Cinelinks YouTube page. Also, we have been, I have been playing a ton of college football. College football is officially back. College Football 25, which my review for that should be going live tomorrow. A very, very exciting, crazy fun game, which we're going to talk about later in the podcast. Also, I've been playing, I played the Concord beta recently on PlayStation 5, which was exclusive for, when it releases in August, it's exclusive for PlayStation and PC. It's first-person 5v5 shooter. Pretty fun. There's some stuff that I think they still need to work on, though. Like, there were some really cool classes and stuff like that, but, like, movement speeds and stuff are super slow. It was... there was a lot of times it was slow enough that it almost took me out. Like, it almost got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm not playing this anymore. Because it just didn't feel... It didn't feel good. Is the best way of saying it. Especially at first. But, of course, lastly, I have been playing a ton of Lego Batman with my son. Going back through latest Lego Batman title and having some fun with that. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all we have been gaming. Something that we haven't done recently on the show is talk about the upcoming movies, but there's just too many damn good movies coming out soon that we can't not talk about. So, of course, July 26th, we got Deadpool and Wolverine. So, Toaster, quickly, I know you're excited for that movie as much as I am, bro.
I'm excited, but I'm also worried. But so blah. Sorry, I'm like trying to troubleshoot something at the same time on the show because ADD. No, I'm very excited. I am. I mean, this is a fanboy's dream come true. This is what we want. This is where we wanted the Deadpool bus to go.
Yeah.
And the fact that Kevin Feige somehow fucking managed to convince Hugh Jackman to come back, is amazing. But at the same time, what I'm really worried about is, I mean, if we're gonna be honest with ourselves as MCU fans, they have lost some steam. The Marvels did not deserve nearly the level of bullshit bashing it got. It was an enjoyable movie.
Yeah.
Would I have paid to go see it in the theaters? Probably not. And it's not really the quality issue. It's they just fucking vomited Marvel titles all over the place. Instead of like the buildup that you got with like the Avengers series and things like that, like they just started, like it was almost every year there was another Marvel movie coming out, like to the point where like I didn't bother seeing Guardians 3 in the theaters. I still haven't seen Black Panther 2. I need to.
Wow, really?
Yeah, no, I just got burnt out on the whole, and then the sniping back and forth with the lawsuits around Scarlett Johansson and Black Widow, and the bullshit with the activist investor trying to kick people out, and the whole like, why is there a woman running the show, or why are they featuring transgender superheroes? Like, I just all that bullshit hate. You just kind of was just like, all right, I'm really hoping that Deadpool Wolverine lives up to the hype and injects the MCU again, with something like I want to go see that in the theaters.
Yeah.
And another big thing, was the announcement that the Russo brothers are probably coming back, which to me is a huge thing because they gave us what I consider arguably 3 of the best Marvel movies in the past decade.
They did. I agree.
Civil War, you've got Infinity War, and you got Endgame.
Yeah.
And to this day, there's only been one other moment in a movie that made me start screaming like a madman, and that was when fucking Yoda opened up a can of whoop ass on Count Dooku and bouncing around. Like I was also like halfway through a 7 and 7 that we had snuck into the movie theater, but like for me in Endgame when Cap picked up that hammer, like
listen.
Yeah, no, the theater I was in erupted. Like complete strangers were like standing on tables screaming, and like the ushers are just like, "Yeah, this is so exciting!" And I hope we get that kind of moment from Deadpool and Wolverine. Like I did get chills with the most recent trailer that showed X-23 showing up. And it'll be interesting.
When I saw that trailer and X-23 showed up, I lost it. I was like, but I really honestly wish they wouldn't have showed it in the trailer.
Right.
I wish it would have just been something like we went to the movies and had no clue she was going to be in there. So
and see, what I'm wondering is if this Logan in this movie is from the Old Man Logan timeline.
I don't know. I know that they did say that this Logan has, of course it's from a completely different timeline, but that we will not see our known Logan in this timeline, but it makes me feel like there is going to be another version of Logan that's going to show up.
Well, I think with like just a couple of hints of like, this Logan failed his world and stuff like that, like I kind of feel like they are adapting portions of the Old Man Logan story.
Yeah, because that's what happens.
Like, yeah, no, he goes, if anybody unfamiliar with the Old Man Logan or the old, spoilers. Out for a few years though, so come out from underneath your rock and join the conversation. Basically, all of the supervillains finally stop being stupid and realize if we team up, we can wreck shop. And Mysterio, whose illusions are so real they can fake out anybody, goes after Wolverine and basically tricks Wolverine into thinking he's surrounded by essentially the X-Men version of the Sinister Six.
Yeah,
and he just murders all of the X-Men.
Oh yeah. Kills every one of them.
Right, yeah. And when we meet him in the comics, he's not using his claws, so it's really interesting to see like how much of that they're going to adapt into this movie.
Yeah, I can agree with you.
And the fucking
I was going to say I can agree with you because in that first trailer that they released, it showed him like he was having problems getting his claws out. So it's kind of like, is it because he hasn't used them in so long? What's going on? So
whiskey claws.
But then of course we got Trap, which looks to be a pretty interesting movie. Something that I gotta say, I don't think that I was really.
Is that the Shyamalan movie with
Josh Hartnett? With Josh Hartnett, and it's about a father and a teen that attend a pop concert and then come to find out it's all just a ruse by the cops and the FBI to get supposedly get this serial killer to go to this concert, and he's got to work his way out of it or whatever. But it looks pretty interesting. And then after that, a movie I'm honestly not excited for is Borderlands. Borderlands comes out August 9th.
Is that still coming out?
Still coming out, man. I think the biggest thing is I just don't think the casting was the best. I mean, Kate Blanchett as Lilith and then Kevin Hart as Roland. Like Jack Black as Claptrap, he's quirky and funny, that's okay. But then Jamie Lee Curtis is Tannis. I don't know.
I think she can be quirky enough to pull it off.
I think she could
too. A lot of Tannis's character is really going to depend on how well she's written.
Yeah,
because Jamie Lee Curtis can do the eccentric character type. But the problem is with those archetypes, they have to be very, very well written, or they come off as like a cheap, joke on, autism or some other type of, social disorder.
Yeah. Another thing too, I can't say Ariana Greenblatt, I think is her name. She's playing Tiny Tina. And just from what I have seen, it's not for me, bro. It's not for me, man.
Well, again, with that character, that comes down to the writing.
It comes down to the writing.
Right. Like, you can't have her spitting stupid anecdotes and jokes every time you see her.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know. Maybe it's the way they set the trailer up. The trailers, the last few times, because the way they showcased them, like, bro, I was very disappointed. I was like, man, bro, this is like some type of slapstick shit that they're giving Tiny Tina. Tiny Tina is psychotic. Okay, like, she is psychotic in the games, so she's not just like, I'm a little crazy. No, she is a psycho.
Yeah,
she is nuts. Of course, the one movie that me and Toaster we can't wait for.
Wait, who was it that originally wanted to play Roland? Wasn't it like Terry Crews or something like that? I
swear to God, I think it was Terry Crews. Like, why would they not choose Terry Crews over Kevin Hart?
Well, isn't Roland like super short in the game too?
He is. But man, God bless. Like, dude, CGI something. I mean, I'd rather see some short CGI version of Terry Crews. Make him short, bro. Like, give him some stubby legs.
To be fair to the movie, though, Kate Blanchett does pull off the aesthetics of Lilith very well.
I agree. I think Kate Blanchett. I think Kate and Jack Black are probably two of the best choices for the roles that they got. But I don't know, man. And then lastly, of course, the movie that me and Toaster just can't wait for, and that's Alien Romulus or Romulus, whatever.
It's Romulus.
Listen, bro, I am so fucking ready for this movie, man.
Dude, the scene in the trailer where the face hugger knocks that dude on his ass.
Yes.
Like, and it's like, so my first introduction to the Alien franchise, I was like 8 or 9 years old, and CBS had their like Sunday evening movie feature thing or whatever, and they showed Aliens. And I mean, in the span of that trilogy, the safest one for a kid to watch is probably Aliens.
Yeah, I agree.
That is more of an action movie versus Alien, which is just you're sitting on the edge of your seat because they're all trapped in this fucking ship, and like Aliens, you were worried when I saw Alien finally. I spent most of that movie going, they're gonna fucking die.
They're
gonna die. At least with Aliens, you were like, they got machine guns and shit. Somebody's gonna survive.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, the one thing I will say, and I was talking to my dad about this last night at my grandmother's birthday party. That movie, it's a good thing that movie came out after Beverly Hills Cop. Because if it came out before Beverly Hills Cop and we had to buy Paul Reiser as a goofy, nice friend guy.
Yeah, that's so true, bro.
That would have never fucking happened.
That's so true, yeah.
The first time somebody showed me Mad About You, and they were like, "Oh, this is such a great sitcom," and Paul Reiser comes walking into the frame. I'm like, I fucking hate that guy.
You're like, fuck him.
And they're like, what? He's a comedian. I'm like, he's an asshole.
He's an asshole.
He's a stand-up con. You've never seen Aliens, have you? No. We're going to watch Aliens right now, and you're going to hate him as much as I hate him.
He's a piece of shit.
Oh, God. He's such a fucking sleazebag in that movie.
Yeah, bro.
And then we had Alien 3, which, yeah. And then they went, I don't know where the fuck they went.
Out there, bro.
Then you had, like, the Predator Alien movies. Like, Romulus, to me, when I saw that first trailer, I was like, holy shit.
Like,
this is an Alien movie. Like, this is... Because I remember going to see Prometheus with Dunny and a friend of ours, and we were ripping on it on the 16-bit show. We were joking about how all the interviews with Ridley Scott, he's like, it's not an Aliens movie, it's not an Aliens movie, it's not an Aliens movie.
Bro.
And then, like, Naomi Rapace, like, does this C-section on herself, and that Deacon thing comes out of her stomach. and it does like, and we all three of us just look at each other and went, "It's a fucking alien movie."
Listen, when I went and saw it with Bolts, and at the end, bro, especially at the end, whenever whatever the weird, like I guess the first xenomorph
they call it the
stands up.
Deacon.
They what?
It's called the Deacon.
Yeah, bro. When he stood up, I was like, I looked at Bolts. I was like, that's a fucking alien movie. That's a fucking xenomorph, bro.
Not
Like,
to mention, how does this all start? The xenoastrobiologist sees an alien creature he's never seen before and goes, "I'm gonna poke it in the face." Like,
bro, I was not the biggest fan of that. Of course, Alien Covenant, I think, did a much better job kind of showcasing, the classic, like, oh shit.
I'm gonna go out and say this.
Covenant was like blood, gore, like straight. I think there was some horror in Covenant.
What I will say,
bro,
I saw clips of like the Neomorph because it came from sports this time.
Yeah.
I will say this: Alien Isolation, the video game.
Yes.
That should be Aliens 3.
Yeah.
Like that.
Because that follows her daughter, right? Going to look for her. To look for her.
And everything fits. She's going to a station called the Sevastopol.
Yeah.
Her mom was on a ship called the Nostromo. Like it all, and then it has that reveal moment where you're like, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
100%. When you're sitting there and you're getting to the center of the station, spoilers for anybody who hasn't played the game yet, and the camera pulls out in the shot of the video game, and you see all of the fucking warrior alien, and you're just like,
oh,
I'm gonna die.
Oh, okay.
But this trailer just, the movie feels like it's going to be the alien movie that we have been wanting for years. My only problem with it for me. And this is the thing I'm kind of worried about, because the guy directing it was also responsible for A Quiet Place, I think. And also...
Did you not like A Quiet Place?
I haven't seen it yet.
I loved it.
He was also responsible for the new Evil Dead.
Did you watch that?
I didn't, because I can't do gore.
You're killing me, bro.
I can't do gore in like a horror. Like I can do like gore and Alien and stuff like that, but I can't do gore in like a horror flick. Like I don't know. It's like a weird separation in my head. It's really the same thing you're watching. It's just a different genre.
Coming from somebody that watched both of those movies,
like the scene where the girl licks the razor blade and like cuts her tongue in half. I was like, no. Like I saw that in the trailer. I was like, nope.
Loved it. No, wait. So was this guy is the director of the Evil Dead that came out in like 2000 and whatever, or the one that just released?
I think he's the one that came out previously. Let me
because I loved both of them, but the newest one was fun.
The newest one, I read the synopsis of it, sounds fucking messed.
It was
like
crazy.
Kids are fighting their mom deadite.
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, it was
like
nuts,
the worst Home Alone sequel ever.
Yeah. Evil Dead. It was what, 2013?
I think so. Yeah.
Let me see.
Fede Alvarez. Yeah, the 2013.
Okay, yeah. See, I like that one. I mean, I will say the one there was a couple of things I didn't really like about it. But...
He didn't do A Quiet Place. He did Don't Breathe.
Don't Breathe. Is that the one with the blind guy?
The blind Marine that murders everybody.
Yeah, that was crazy, bro.
He also did Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah. Oh, he did Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like the re-release?
Yeah, the 2022.
Oh, bro, yeah.
And The Girl in the Spider's Web.
Man, I fuck with that guy then. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you this. What was great about Covenant, and then we'll move on. What was great about Covenant is the versions of, they had the xenomorphs in there as well, but then they also had like the spore-like, what did you call them?
Neomorphs.
The neomorphs. Okay, so like there's one moment in Covenant to where the neomorph is like standing there with his arms like down at his side, and he's just like breathing. He's like, and you can only see him through like this sheet, And holy fuck, bro. I remember being in the theaters like, bro, if I saw some shit like that, I'm like, well, I'm dead. Like, fuck it. Like, I don't know what else to do.
That was like at the PAX where I played Isolation. Like, I actually waited in line. I waited in line for like 3 hours to play that game. Like, I told Soleb, I'm like, I'm waiting here to play this game. And he's like,
I was like, okay.
I was like, no, I'm gonna wait because and they put me in, they put you in the pod and like the 3D stereo surround sound, and like, for those of you who haven't played this game, one,
it's so good.
It's amazing. Two, you could enable your microphone and your Kinect camera on the Xbox. So, if the game heard a sound while you were hiding from the alien would stop and come back and fuck you up. And if you were hiding and you leaned, your character leaned in the game. It was a lot of fun because you felt immersed in this game.
Yeah.
But the first time I played it at PAX, and the alien came out of the ceiling, I just remember looking at the screen and going, I'm gonna fucking die.
Yeah, bro.
So many times.
Dude.
And the best part is that, like, did you play Metroid Dread at all?
I did play Metroid Dread.
All right, yes. So the first time you meet one of those freaking robot things and you get your ass handed to you when the screen pops up and it says you can dodge, but you got to get it perfect. Yeah. And there's no hint to it, really. You could dodge the alien in Isolation, but it was the same thing. There was no real hint. You just had to figure the timing out on your own. But even if you did get the fuck out of the way, she took your health down to like this.
Yeah.
And then what would happen is you'd run away and run smack into one of the androids that were all fucked up, and it would just choke you out.
100%, bro. It was fucking wild. It's a great game, though, and you definitely should check it out. But with that said,
I got one more anecdote about this game.
Okay.
I got to tell the story because this is about my cat, Aristotle.
Okay.
You remember Stotts?
Yes.
You were talking to you.
Yes.
All right. He was an amazing cat. Thought he was a dog. Anyway, I was playing this game when I was living in Jacksonville for the year I was down there. And the thing that a lot of people didn't understand about the game is it was basically a very, very high-tech programmed version of hide and seek. The alien was coded to look for causation. So if you went into a room and their cabinets were closed, but you opened them looking for supplies, but didn't close them back, the alien would stay in that room for a little bit longer because it'd be like, well, why is this like this?
Yeah.
So I got myself in a situation. I got away. I'm running. I get to a door. I dip in. I hide. And I literally had to sit there hiding for like 5-6 minutes because like I left cabinets, so like I was frantically searching for bandages and shit. And so this alien, like, I'm hiding under a table, and you just see like the knee joints, and I'm like, you're like holding your breath for playing, like you're holding your breath in the game, but at the same time you're like holding your breath in real life, going,
yeah.
Because when it did find you, the murder it was terrifying, even for a fucking video game. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
So finally, like after about 6 minutes, the thing starts to walk away. Aristotle comes walking into the fucking living room, tail all up, and he goes, "Meow." I hear the thing stop, and I'm like,
fuck. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Jesus Christ. That is a perfect description of what that game is. Honestly, because I can't tell you how many times that I'm doing the same exact thing while playing it, and I'm like, don't move, don't breathe. But of course, that's the only way to play it. That's really the best way of playing it, is having your mic on or your camera on. But video games coming soon. We got Star Wars Bounty Hunter, the, I guess, re-enhanced re-release. It's coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Re-release?
Re-enhancing?
Coming on August 1st. And then the day after my birthday, SteamWorld Heist 2 is coming out, and you can check out my review for that game very soon. I'm telling you, it is a really great strategy game that I can't wait to share my opinions about very soon. But you can actually head on over to Cineleaks.com and check out my gameplay. I got to check the game out quite a bit, and also had a really amazing conversation with the dev team while at Summer Game Fest. So definitely make sure to check that out whenever it releases. It's coming out, of course, just around the corner on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Switch, and PC. Then we got Madden 25 coming out August 16th. Black Myth Wukong, which is looks to be an amazing game. It's coming out PS5 and PC August 20th.
I'm worried that turns out to be a little Lost Arky.
Yeah. You know, and the gameplay and graphics and stuff look really great. They had it playable during Summer Games Fest. I didn't get to sit down and play it because of course of my schedule, but it looks to be fun. But I just feel like it might be lined up pretty much with what we've seen in the past with Elden Ring, and I was going to say Elder Scrolls, but Elden Ring and many other games. So. But they say that, you know, it's not as difficult. So then we got Concord coming out to PS5 and PC August 23rd. And then last but not least, August 30th, we finally get Star Wars Outlaws coming out on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. If you'd like to check out my hands-on previews of that, head on over to cineleaks.com and check them out.
So let me ask you about Outlaws.
Okay.
Because I've heard negative hype.
Negative hype.
I've heard negative hype.
Oh.
And my curiosity is this negative hype because some people are not okay with a woman as the main character? Or are there concerns? Are you allowed to espouse those concerns if there are?
I can tell you this. Fuck anybody that has...
Oh, no, that's how you get STDs, and that's just...
Fuck anybody that says negative... has anything negative to say about this game.
Okay.
I played it, and I played it for an hour, and I'm going to tell you, it was solid, dude. Like, I'm very excited for this game, especially the fact that it is something different. It's not like the same, like, okay, well, there's a, you know, force power, this, that, blah, 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 blah. It's very different, and I think Massive has done a I think Massive has really worked hard on creating a universe that is sprawling in the Star Wars universe that will take us on a journey we haven't been on before. Best way of saying it without getting my ass in trouble. All right, so first up, we got our first topic of the night. So Microsoft hits back at the FTC's misleading letter. They called Xbox Game Pass Standard a degraded service. So the FTC is not very happy with Xbox right now. So Federal Trade Commission wasn't all too happy about Microsoft's recent change to the Xbox Game Pass service, arguing that it was a degraded service as a result of the company's massive Activision Blizzard acquisition, just as it had argued in court. FTC had said this previously, that they felt when this purchase happened that they were going to see a huge change after some time. It says Microsoft has responded to the FTC's filing about Xbox Game Pass price increase. It calls the FTC's letter a misleading extra record account of facts and says the FTC is wrong to call Game Pass Standard a degraded version because it includes multiplayer. It also says the FTC is calling Microsoft's blah, 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 blah.
That's such a bullshit response. That is such a... Like, seriously, Microsoft is rapidly running out of gamer goodwill.
Yeah.
Like, I mean... You know, and this isn't the first time the FTC has gotten upset with Microsoft over actions that they did. This is the first time that the FTC has really publicly called them out on an official letter.
Yeah.
But if you remember when they went through and did the layoffs of, you know, the studio that brought you Hi-Fi Rush and a few other studios, the FTC at that point said, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Because when Microsoft was trying to win them over in court, and honestly, You can thank Sony for this, and I am going to die on this fucking hill. But the minute a judge started questioning Sony's lawyers about Sony's IPs and that lawyer opened his mouth about Spider-Man, they should have fired his ass and hired somebody else. Because the minute he was like, well, no, you're never going to see Spider-Man on Xbox, the judge was like, well, how many other things are we not going to see on Xbox then? You know?
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, this is just, you know, between the layoffs, between, you know, this pricing tier thing that they did, you know, when they came out with Games Pass, the biggest selling point on it from them was that you would have access to day one releases.
Yep.
You know, and taking that away from people, nobody's going to get Games Pass if you can't get a day one release. You know, like, nobody's going to go for the standard.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that just doesn't make sense. You know, why are you, you know, like, I don't know. And then the whole grandfathering thing, like if I accidentally let my subscription lapse and then, you know, but I have I'm going to end up paying $20 a month because I have the PC and all that jazz too.
Yeah.
So, and, you know, I want to play some games day one. I want to play Indiana Jones when it comes out. You know, I just...
Listen, it's bullshit. It's like what you said. It's honestly, it's bullshit because what's irritating to me is that Microsoft has been doing this recently. They're going up and down constantly. We don't know if they're fucking coming or going. And like, I'm irritated because while at Summer Games Fest, you know, it was constant. It was this constant talk about this type of stuff of like, you know, there's been a lot of decisions that have been made that we have not really liked to make, but we had to make for the future of Games Pass and Xbox and blah, 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 blah. This decision to change Xbox Game Pass standard or core or whatever, change it to where it's like, oh, well, now you also don't get day one games.
But you get multiplayer. You can play
Fortnite. You get multiplayer. Bro, like, what is the point of having that shit then? That's forcing other people. That's forcing people have.
You know why they did this? Because they're going to see a spike in the subscription tier that gets them.
Yeah, because they're going to have to
when Call of Duty comes out.
Yeah, but look,
that's what they're. I guarantee you, that's what they're fucking banking on. Because now all of a sudden, a bunch of people that just had the normal Games Pass on Xbox are now going to have to pump out that extra $5 or $6 if they want to play Call of Duty. And the fucked up thing about it is, on paper, it still makes sense financially.
Yeah, like because of course it does.
Cancel at any time, and you're only paying like an additional $6 to play Call of Duty.
But that's the thing is that they're forcing people. That there's obviously people that still play the standard version of, or still use the standard version of Game Pass, but they're forcing standard users to say, hey, listen, if you do want to enjoy all this other shit, you got to start paying more. And obviously that huge group of gamers have stayed on standard because they were like, all right, I could still play Game Pass. I could still play all these extra games or whatever else. I still get day one and I still only pay this price. You know, and there's a lot of people out there that it could like this could be a detrimental thing to them, even though it is an extra $6 or $7 a month. You know, that like we have constantly seen all of these streaming services across the board jump in price over and over and over again. And not only has Game Pass already jumped in price, but now it's taking away one of its, you know, standard things, one of its things that's been with it since they've started Game Pass, since they originally started it. And what's upsetting to me is that it was more appealing for other people. So like I was just talking to a friend of mine that was really interested in getting Xbox Game Pass. And he said, yeah, but bro, I don't want to shovel out like $300 to $400 something. I'm like, hey, Xbox Game Pass is coming to Fire Stick. You know, they already have Xbox available now to where you can play cloud gaming and stuff through Fire Stick. So
it's going to be really interesting to see if that works.
It does. Hey,
remember
a test here.
Google tried it.
They did.
I got two of those systems. I got one from Verizon for getting because I have Fios, and then I got another one for free for some reason.
Yeah, I was gonna get.
I just wish now, like, that you could easily pair the controller with your computer via Bluetooth, so I could just use the controllers.
Right. I was gonna get the Amazon Luna, because I got the kids a new Fire Stick, and I was gonna get 2 of those Luna controllers. But then I downloaded Game Pass, signed my account and all that other stuff up, or Xbox Cloud, whatever. And Dante was playing. What was it? It was Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. In his room on his television through the Fire Stick, and it was like 0 latency, dude. There was no issue. Which, mind you, we have a really good internet connection, of course, but there is certain areas that don't have that type of connection, and they're probably banking on not having to pay a shit ton of money.
Now you're bringing up the conversation from several Second Opinion podcasts ago.
I know.
If you remember, during a certain E3 presentation, there was a gentleman from Xbox that bashed rural America and their lack of access to broadband internet.
Yep.
When they originally were talking about making the Xbox One an online-only console.
Yep.
And this dude came on stage and shit all over middle America's lack of broadband access. And of course, the response to this man was complete, like, what the fuck? But I believe it was either you or me that we were talking about it on the show when Jay was part of this. And we were like, that dude was just testing the waters. Because he came out, Microsoft saw everybody lose their shit about it, and they were like, they're not ready for it.
Yeah.
Now,
that's all we're seeing.
Yeah.
It's literally one of the biggest things that they're pushing right now. Like, I'm getting commercials for it. I'm getting like ads for it of how you can play it on Fire Stick and play it on streaming. You know, it's constant. So this is what Microsoft has wanted for years. And that's great. I mean, that's cool, man. Like, but for that system to be successful across the globe, there has to be a good internet connection across the fucking globe. And we said this actually just a couple of episodes ago when we had Baron on from Level 1 Gaming. We talked about this and said until internet is considered a utility, until internet services are considered a utility, I don't see how this is something that they can continuously bring up and be like, oh, it's the future. It's the future. It's not the future until internet is a utility. It's not the future until you can every household has a stable, high-speed internet connection. That's whenever it's the future. Then you can start pumping it out and saying, you don't even need a console. Fuck it. No, you don't. Cool. But there's a lot of people out there, no matter where you live. But anyways, back to the FTC thing. The FTC hit back at him, a hit at him, and then Microsoft hit back at him and said that they're wrong for this. And I think me and Toaster are very much like in the same exact standpoint. Like, you got to pick and choose your battles, Microsoft. Honestly, like you're literally hitting back at the FTC because they're looking out for the customer bases. They're looking out at the fact that, like, hey, not only have you dropped this from your service, but you just cut a bunch of fucking studios, and these are 2 things that you said you were not going to do.
The other thing, I mean, think about the amount of consumer goodwill they're missing out on right now. Like, you know, like, there's a reason that everybody's loving Arizona iced tea right now.
Because it's 99 cents.
And it's going to stay that way. The owners they're billionaires, man. They don't need that extra fucking money. And they've said that. You know, with, you know, the prices of things today and, you know, the inflation and all that jazz, you know, Microsoft could earn themselves just, you know, a net positive to pull them out of the shit bucket they stepped in when they laid off all those studios.
Yep.
You know, just keep it the same fucking price.
Just leave it alone.
You own 3/4 of the fucking studios that are your day one releases. So, like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
You're making money regardless.
Countless.
Your shareholders aren't going to make an additional 25 cents on their shit. Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and Toaster is getting vulgar on this, but
but no, it's the fucking truth. But because we've talked about this before, it is corporate greed, plain and simple. That is exactly what it is, and you cannot spin it any other way. It is straight up corporate greed to take these type of services away that have been an established service since you got to the point of saying, hey, Now we're going to start releasing games on Game Pass that are day one. Awesome. Bro, I'm paying this much. I'm only paying $9.99 a month. And I fucking get day one games. And they're like, oh, by the way, we're taking that away now. If you want that, you got to pay. Like, I pay $16.99 a month, I think, for Game Pass Ultimate.
I can understand the price being what it is, like if it's the package, like the PC, because, I mean, the households that can do have the PC, the console, family, and like I can understand bundling that together and making it like $16 or $17 because you're allowing basically 2 copies of the Mass Effect Legendary Edition on PC is the EA Game Store PC edition.
Yeah.
You're essentially getting access to 2 versions of a game.
Yeah.
And, you had the ability to get day one games, which was awesome because, there are games that come out where I'm like, okay, that looks kind of cool. I don't want to spend $70 to play it. And then if it turns out that, hey, I probably would have spent $70 to play this game. If they pull it off of Games Pass a few months down the road, then yeah, I'll kick in the $30 or whatever. But they still made the cost of that game back with my $17.99 charge monthly. That allowed me to access Games Pass. Yeah. Like I think it's like you're double dipping. You're like fucking over your customers, and you're fucking over your customers for games that the studios you own are making.
Yeah,
like
making money. Like constantly. Microsoft is one of the only $1 trillion companies out there.
Yeah, they can fucking print their own. They can print money for Christ's sake.
So these decisions, these 3 or 2 or 3 decisions,
they're gonna be turned into Sony,
probably
because that was at least I might be wrong, but I think the pinnacle of the console wars was the 360 versus the PlayStation 3, the PS3. And the PS3 came off as fucking elitist.
Mm-hmm.
It really did. When they released that, what was it, $600 when they first released that fucking
$600, yeah.
Right. And then, Microsoft was like, $299.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, bro, what?
You had this entire community of gamers on Xbox Live that, I mean, yeah, you had some dicks. There are some people that made me say some things that got me spoken to when I retorted with, things. But in general, the Xbox 360 gaming community, everybody was chill. People helped people out in multiplayer games. You ran into the assholes, but it was kind of rare. And, when you did, you realized that they were a 12-year-old that still hasn't figured out how to fart as an armpit. I don't know. But Sony just had this nose up in the air attitude with the PlayStation 3 like that, and I think you and I talked about that way back when,
it was because of the PS2. The PS2 sales were so out there, so just
PS2 was amazing fucking.
I mean, so and then we saw the same situation happen again when Xbox One came out. Xbox One comes out and they're like $5.99. I'm like, what the fuck? But this is history repeating itself.
Xbox One was it's a cable box. Which allowed was it, Stephen House to just come out and go, we're making a gaming console.
Yeah.
It plays video games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
bro. And Sony ran on that. But either way, speaking of Microsoft,
hilarious.
Speaking of Microsoft and some success of Microsoft, Halo has always been a successful game series. Halo Infinite saw its kind of ups and downs, but then of course with the Halo TV series, whenever it was announced, a lot of people were excited, and then of course, as I said from the get-go, it turned into a shit show, plain and simple. No ifs, ands, or buts. He took his fucking helmet off.
He took his helmet off. He fucked it up right there.
Ruined it. We talked about this on the last episode of the podcast, and I literally was like, we were talking about movies and video games and all that other stuff, and I said it clear as day.
The minute he took his helmet off, dude, it turned into an overly dramatic Starship Troopers.
Ruined it. And they were like, oh, well, this is a different universe. I'm like, different universe? What the fuck?
Dude,
what are you talking about?
I think I watched the first 4 episodes of season 1, and I'm amazed that I hung on for 4 episodes.
And they tried to wrap it all around this one thing that happens in season 1 to where it's like, oh, it's this badass fight scene, and Master Chief comes out, and I mean, bro, he just fucks these guys up. It doesn't matter. He fucking fights them in that fight scene without his fucking helmet on. Like, I don't care what people say about them cutting it and like, oh, it's tying it to humanity and showing a different side of Master Chief. No, bro. No, Master Chief never takes his fucking helmet off.
Sarge from Red vs. Blue right now in your rant.
What?
You just totally sounded like Sarge from Red vs. Blue.
Oh, did I really?
Yeah, you were like, he totally takes his helmet off.
He took his fucking helmet off. That's the fucking problem.
Creatures, you want to name this thing, Griff? Like a puma.
Spartans don't take off their fucking helmet.
No, like when the first couple episodes, like the first time you saw him, I was like, that's Master Chief.
Yeah.
And he took his helmet off, and I was like, the fuck?
What the fuck?
And I can kind of, no, I can't. There's no hypocrisy here. Like, the Mandalorian taking his helmet off fucking meant something. I mean, you have to react to Bill Burr shooting somebody in cold blood.
Oh my God, bro. I literally had this discussion with somebody at work the other day. Like, they were like, okay, well, what about the Mandalorian taking his helmet off? I'm like, it was a meaningful thing. It was something like, listen, dude, like, I don't do this at all. Like, I want you to know how much, not only does it hurt me taking my helmet off, it fucks me in my entire clan.
Like, I gotta go get rebaptized.
Yeah, bro. But I want you to know how much I
big, like, monster in there that I gotta swim with.
Yes.
I took
my God. But like,
bro, where did when did Imperial Guards get a Boston accent?
Who knows, bro?
Like, I love Bill Burr. He's great. Like, I love his stand-up comedy. Like, the dude is fucking awesome. To me, he's like right up there in my book, and I'm probably gonna piss a lot of people off by saying this because they're like, "Oh, he just ripped off Bill Hicks, Dennis Leary." Like,
bro, Bill Burr is he's one of the great.
He's on that fucking episode. It's like, yeah, I gotta pack the ad over there in the corner. Like, dude.
Hang on 1 second. Keep talking about that.
Does Boston exist in the Star Wars universe? Is there like a Commonwealth of Star Wars? Like, does Mos Eisley start like? Well, I guess. I can't believe Soleb just left me here to rant about fucking Star Wars.
I'm sorry. Shut my door, please. The kids.
Out of steam.
Shut my door.
It's all on me. But yeah, no, they ruined it when they let him take his helmet off, and like children, shut the door now. Do it now. Do it now.
Jesus Christ.
Do the chopper.
I'm sorry. My God, man. Amar's like, Dante came up to me and went like this. And I'm like, he hit you on the ears? And she was like, yeah. And I said, are they bleeding? And she was like, no. And I said, okay, then get out of my office. Why are you back here?
Bad boy, or the boys. Does you look like that? Then you're fine.
God bless. Yeah, so anyways, so the TV series has been officially canceled after 2 seasons, which thank God, I'm glad. When I heard that they had talked about how, oh, well, this is a different universe and this is a different version of Master Chief, I'm like, bro, there's never been a fucking time. Now, mind you, I'm not like 100% in, but I'm about 99% in the Halo universe. Like, I've played every Halo game. I've played multiplayer constantly.
There was never multiversal.
There was never a fucking mention of like
universe chief.
No, never, not once. So don't just start saying it just because fucking Marvel spits it out all the time, man. But speaking of Microsoft and their poor decisions, we're going to talk about this next topic. Bethesda has made a great decision and has now officially become the first Microsoft studio to fully unionize. So because of...
I will say that they did that because they realize that they have just as big of a bat to swing that Activision does.
Bro, of course, yeah. And it says here, the game developer has chosen to fully unionize under the Communications Worker of America, forming a wall-to-wall union of developers, including artists, engineers, programmers, and much more. The union was confirmed after 241 developers either signed a union authorization card or indicated that they wanted unionization via an online portal. So this is a really big thing. It says, we, a majority of the developers at Bethesda Game Studio Dallas, Rockville, and Austin are ecstatic to announce the formation of our union with the CWA union. This is a huge thing. And I think this is a great thing for the development studios. I'm not going to say the people that I've spoken to, but I have spoken to a couple of Bethesda employees about some of the decisions that have been made through their partner company or owner. And I'm not going to say that there was no trash talk, but let's just say it seemed like they weren't very happy about some of the closures and so on and so forth. So I will say this is a great leadway for the rest of the industry. I think the rest of the industry is already kind of past that point that they need to get to the point, especially if they're not, if they're a studio that is owned by a larger conglomerate studio, then a lot of these studios need to get on up there and get this unionization done to protect their workers from having some of the stuff that, I mean, dude, like I will always be in shock that Tango Gameworks got shut down. Like there's not a single person that can tell me that that Mara, I need you to get a grip and realize that I'm on the podcast. Go. Okay, Mara says hi, everybody. All right, go. I'm in the middle of recording. Anyway, so but yes, it is a very big deal that they got this unionization, and I just feel so bad for the development studios that have gone through what they've gone through in the last few years. Toaster, what do you think about this? I mean,
I think it's a good move. You know, I mean, I have acquaintances in the gaming industry, and you know, every time there's a round of these massive layoffs, it's got to be anxiety just spikes for, you know, folks that work in that industry. So, you know, hearing an entire studio essentially unionize and, you know, decide to stand up to, you know, some of these decisions that are being made is a great thing. Like, I think I would love to see more studios do this.
I agree. I'm sorry. I had to get stern with my daughter. I was like, all right, stop playing in my office. Go. She's like, I want to be on a podcast. I'm like, we'll have a father-son podcast or father-daughter podcast. All right. We'll have one soon. Now get out. She was like, but that's Toaster. I'm like, okay. She's like, it's Uncle Toaster. I'm like, you've never even met Toaster, bro. Like, why are you saying Toaster? But yeah, I agree 100% that, you know, I mean, it's a scary thing. And we talked about this before, you and me both, of saying like, it's a scary thing for people that want to move into the games industry. Whenever you see these closures of studios constantly, people constantly getting to that point, that pinnacle point of what they've always wanted to do, and then saying, hey, sorry, we got to take it away from you. You know, this is happening.
My nephew is going to school for game development and design. Yep. You know, and it's. I mean, more power to the people that see these layoffs happen and these studio closures and continue to push forward. You know, and it sucks because it's like really fucking talented people that end up losing their jobs, and you know, some land on their feet, some go off to like start their own studios and do amazingly well. But you know, some people don't. You know, there are people that, you know, just don't work in the industry anymore after that. You know,
I've seen a lot of them move out, bro. That is honestly 100% true. I've seen a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people move out of the games industry after these continuously rocky things that have happened. So, moving on from that, in our last topic of the day, 2 million people were willing to pay $100 to play college football 3 days early. So college football
with this release, let's not ignore the huge milestone that this game is. The college players are finally being recognized and compensated for using their likeness, which 100%. Is making me wonder how much money is some rando linebacker from Mississippi State making because his face is in a video game that 2.2 million fucking people paid $100 to play for 3 days early?
I don't know, man. I don't know, but I know this.
Man,
Let's say
your
this.
books were paid for.
Coming from someone that's from Texas, I've heard people that are not even gamers talking about this game. Now, the last time we had a college football title that officially was released was NCAA 2014, which came out in 2013. So it's been over 10 years. It's been 11 years since the last release of this. And EA has been constantly, fighting, fighting to bring this series back. EA has been an active part in making sure that these students and these players got paid. They've done a really good job of making sure that their likeness and their, overall, they were just taken care of. It says right here, according to the Ciaran's player engagement tracker on July 17th, EA Sports College Football ranked number 3 in the U.S. and number 3 in the U.S. of active users on Xbox and number 4 on PS5. It looks like EA Sports College Football 25 may indeed be the mass market breakout hit this console genre really needed to see. It says right now, EA College Football 25 feels like a college quarterback who left school for the NFL too soon, got drafted way higher than he should have been, started under an intense scrutiny from a fan base and an owner who are tired of losing all the time, and then flamed out of the league because he just wasn't ready for his prime time. It says this is IGN's thought on their review in progress. But let me tell you, from someone that is actually reviewing the game, and I've played every single aspect of this game from start to finish at this point in time. I'm talking about going through and playing every single school that I can, because this game is so different from previous college football games. So in the previous ones, it was like, okay, they kind of set up the stadium, and the crowd was a little loud. They would say a few things here and there, but it kind of felt like the same thing. You either were in a large stadium or a small stadium, and the environment wasn't really changed much. College Football 25, it changes everything. Like, it literally, every school that is featured, they've got it down to the minute detail of like what that college usually does at their college game days. Like, every aspect of it, like them, if they had like a special statue that the players usually touch, they show that. They showcase the mascots better than ever. They showcase the cheerleaders. They showcase the rituals that the guys would do, the routines, the fact that the crowd noise actually affects your gameplay like never before. The environments actually affect your gameplay. It's a super different game, and it really, really feels nice to play. It feels nice to see college football back, and I kind of think it shows right here and now that EA Sports, that people are way more enthralled with college football than they are with Madden. I think Madden, of course, has its huge niche of fan base, and it's always going to be that way, but college football is just that much more exciting. This game feels fast-paced. It looks amazing, and you definitely need to check back soon for my review. So in closing thoughts, Toaster, closing thoughts. Do you have anything else to say about anything that we talked about, or?
Good for you, Bethesda, for unionizing.
I agree, 100%. And good for Toaster, having those guitars behind him. I just makes me want to sit down and listen to Toaster strum them for a couple hours. I agree. Good for Bethesda. Good job, Amazon, on canceling that season, of course. And, of course, make sure to head back here soon for another episode of the Second Opinion Podcast, where we'll be talking about our thoughts of, Deadpool and Wolverine. I'll hopefully we'll have a few other things going as well. Some new reviews and news for you all. But thank you, Toaster, for coming on this episode.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. You're amazing. I appreciate it very much. And guys, I love you. As per usual, make sure to comment, like, subscribe.